speaking of people I interviewed earlier this year, one of those was our mutual friend, Terry Cole, author of Boundary Boss, who I saw endorsed your book. And
Yes.
in our conversation, we explored the impact of boundaries on our relationships, health, and career. But what I wanted to ask you is, what is the relationship between burnout and healthy boundaries?
Boy, burnout is boundaries. People say to me, well, when do you know how to set a boundary or when you should? And I say, anytime there's a net drain of energy, there's a boundary that needs to be there. Now, the problem is that people either wait really long and then when they draw a boundary, it's like thud, like a tree fell, or they're so porous with their boundaries that they let anything in because they want to belong to a group, to a relationship, to a work culture, right? Whatever it is. So there's how you draw the boundaries that's really important as well. Boundaries matter. There's so many different types of boundaries. So if you think about it, our skin is a physical boundary. It's what separates me from others, right? Or the territory around your home. If you have land, like this is the boundary. There's mental boundaries, which are what are you willing to discuss and what are you unwilling to discuss? There's emotional boundaries. What are you willing to feel and what are you unwilling to feel? There was a time in my life where my heart got broken so badly that I didn't date for 8 years. I put myself in a metaphorical corner and I was like, until you learn how to choose people who are going to treat you well, you don't get to date. But you know what I was really doing? I was drawing an emotional boundary that I wasn't willing to feel heartbreak. There's boundaries that are emotional. And then there are also spiritual boundaries, which is about exploring the unknown, about exploring mystery, about exploring our oneness and connection. Some people are willing to do it. Some people aren't. Some people believe certain things. And so there's boundaries that people have. So I'd say there's types of boundaries. And then probably something really important I want the audience to know is that I think of boundaries as a double zipper winter jacket. So for anybody who lives in an environment where it's cold or you ski, the benefit of a double layer zipper, right? So there's an external zipper, okay, that comes undone. Let's say someone out in the world judges you, says something to you, accuses you of something, whatever it is, shames you. All right. That's like the unzipping of the external boundary. They control that, how they show up in your environment. But I don't know that most people know they have an inner zipper. They have the ability to unzip their own vulnerability and say, based on their self-trust, self-love, and ability to draw boundaries and know who they are and what they value, they get to decide whether they believe that is true. And that's where I think a lot of energy gets lost. People not knowing there's a double layer there. Just because people say something, just because they have an opinion of you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So make sure that you strengthen your inner boundaries around who you are, what you believe, what you value. Know why you make your decisions. And I hope that they're based on your highest values. And if you're somebody who's thinking to yourself, how would I know that, Neha? How do I figure out what my highest values are? Let me give you a couple quick ways to do it. I want you to pick somebody in your family or someone in the world that you don't even know that you admire. And then tell me 3 things you admire about them. Would you be willing to do it, John? You don't have to tell me the name of who it is. I just want to know 3 qualities you admire about the person you brought to mind.
Loyalty, empathy, and forgiveness.
Okay, well, right there, the switcheroo is those are some of your highest values. That's why when you see them in somebody else, it matters to you. So oftentimes people can see what they appreciate in other people and they think, oh, it's in that person. No, the only way you're recognizing it is because it's in you and you value it greatly. Another way that you can do figure out your highest values so that you can start getting really clear on decisions and boundaries is what are 3 things if someone said about you when you weren't in the room would be so meaningful to you? One of my biggest ones is that I try to live the things and the tools that I write about and I teach. It doesn't mean I'm perfect, but if someone were to say, she really makes a sincere effort to use the tools she gives other people. That would be alignment to me. That would mean a lot to me. And so now I know that's one of my highest values. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And thank you for sharing that. And for the audience, what we were just talking about with boundaries came out of part 4 of Nia's book, which is all about social energy.